Everything in the desert is out to kill you. But there is a man, a hero who will rescue the fallen. When all traction is lost, he will find you.
So I met up with Lisa and Jason from Four Wheeled Nomads, great couple, riding the world on their motorcycles. And Lisa was having some challenges with sand riding, specifically deeper sand riding.
Sand, even on my KTM EXC-F, fills me with absolute dread. It's demonic. We're not friends, we're not acquaintances, I cannot stand the stuff.
Lisa doesn't like riding in sand, and that dictates where we go. And it also dictates how far we can go into the backcountry.
So just like anyone else in training, before I do an assessment or make any recommendations, I have to understand what she's struggling with. So give me an idea of what feedback you're getting from the motorcycle. How are you feeling? What are you noticing that's going on?
I'm noticing that, for example, when I have come to a stop and then I have to get going again in thick sand, it's awful. I have no clue really how to get going again. So I'll just constantly fishtail, stop, fishtail a bit more until I finally, put my big girl pants on and give it some beans and get going.
Well, okay.
I'm clinging on for dear life. I feel like I'm wearing the grip off my handle grips.
So in working with Lisa on the deep sand, the last thing I'm going to do for her or anyone that comes to me for training is throw them directly into the deep sand. I need to do a skills assessment, a comfort level assessment on the basic fundamentals: body position, clutch control, throttle control, braking, and balance. So give me a couple reasons why you think standing is more important, or it feels very comfortable to you.
I feel like I can change my center of gravity to the right place, and I also feel like I can react with my feet a lot more than I would be able to if I was sat down. I can steer with my feet, and I can cling on to with my knees to my tank, and I think that helps better weight shift.
You are absolutely right. There are so many of the things that you just said are benefits to standing up. We have proprioceptors all throughout our body. A lot of them are in our lower legs. They communicate with our feet for balance. So it's natural for us to be better balanced when we're standing up. If you're using your hands on the handlebars and you're not also using your knees in the tank and shifting your weight back a little bit, there's too much pressure on the bars, you've got too much grip, you can't give subtle input to the clutch, brake, and throttle.
Agreed.
So if we're on a traction environment that's a high traction environment, it's stable, it's not pavement, but it's dirt, we use the handlebars more. When we get into the sand, we can't use the handlebars as much because now we need to give the clutch and the throttle some input, and we don't want to steer. So where does that go to? Well, for normal off-road riding, that would go to exactly what you said, squeezing the seat or tank area with your knees. So it takes the pressure and the weight off of your handlebars. So we have to get comfortable with those now not being our stable point. Are you grabbing the bars? I can tell you're grabbing the bars. I can see white on your knuckles. All I gotta do is look at the white on your knuckles. It's like being a defensive lineman, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay. You gotta have a little bit of a grip, right?
Little.
You can't have a ton of a grip, right?
No.
Move your weight back just a tad. Boom, right there, stop. Okay, now squeeze the tank with your knees. Now look at your knuckles. They're not as white.
Oh.
Notice that? See how you're now, I'm gonna move you. See how you're now not really using this as much? You're using your knees, right?
Is it not more pronounced than this position? Is it not?
No. Look how white your knuckles are. Way more grip, and why? Because you're holding on.
Yeah, I'm holding on.
You have to, because you don't have any stability. Go back there again. Now pull the throttle from that position. Do we want to be all the way back on the motorcycle when we're pulling the throttle?
It's really fatiguing.
Well, not only that, that's an out of control body position.
Yeah.
Right? Because now if we pull the throttle,
you're right.
I'm going to put you in a kickstand, stay right there. If you pull on the throttle from back here, boom, now you're out of position. You can't shut it off. You're holding onto the throttle.
I've been instilling a lot of bad habits for a long time now. I wouldn't consider myself a beginner in good dirt, a little bit of loose gravel, hard compacted dirt, and a few rocky sections. I'm upper end of beginner, intermediate.
Watch my body from the side, okay? And then watch my hands. I'm gonna go forward and then back, slow, Forward go, back slow. Forward go, back slow. Cool, watch me. Forward go. Yeah, perfect. One of the biggest challenges Lisa had was an experience where she couldn't stop in the sand.
I'm scared to death of stopping where the bike's going to catapult me off the bike because I feel like I'm just going to nosedive.
So I started out having Lisa do some rear brake assist drills. I wanted her to compress the rear brake just enough to slow her down, but not skid it, not lock it up. So the next braking drill we worked on was the front brake. And of course, we all know the front brake is the best brake to use, even in an off-road situation, and it's because that's where the weight is. The challenge of the front brake is if we use our whole hand or too much of our hand, we don't have as much finesse or control on the front brake. And we can go to stabbing or grabbing it, which in an off-road situation, especially deep sand, can make the front wheel or the front handlebars do something we don't want it to do. It can make the bike fall. It can put us in an awkward situation that we have to now manage. So we practiced finesse and quick stopping with front brake. So after working with Lisa on both brakes individually, we put them together and created a kind of an emergency brake situation. Lisa, in this drill, we're going to simulate an emergency stop or a panic stop. We're going to use both brakes together. What's really important in this drill is to use the rear brake first. Now we know the front brake has the maximum stopping power, but if we don't hit the rear brake first, we don't get the maximum effectiveness of the rear brake. So the drill is weight back, clutch in, stomp on the rear brake and skid it, squeeze the front to a full stop and put your foot down.
So my front brake is a secondary.
Correct.
And it's just there to just completely stop proceedings.
Correct. If you hit the front brake first, it dives. Hit the rear brake first, then hit the front brake to a controlled stop as fast as you can. So stopping in a deep sand situation, you've got to lock the rear wheel. You don't want to touch the front brake. And I mean, you need to hammer on that rear brake. You need to feel it skid. It's really good for you to be a lot more aggressive on that pedal. And I mean, stomp on it. So what we did with Lisa is we practiced on the flat ground. It took her a minute to get comfortable with locking that rear wheel, with hammering on that rear brake, with controlling that skid to a stop.
Did I do it?
Once she got it, she felt way more comfortable. She had a big smile on her face because that's a really fun drill.
That was fun.
Good.
I've never done that before.
Good.
I didn't think I was able to do that.
Now
I've
later
been
on,
too much of a scaredy cat up until now. Right, nervous Nelly.
to determine or assess Lisa's comfort and balance on the motorcycle, every single braking drill I had her do, I had her put an opposite foot down every time. I want you to bring your left foot down, but I don't want you to sit on the seat. So try that. Exactly what I want you to do.
Oh,
Okay, off the seat.
okay.
And then I want you to take off from there. So you're gonna have to hop and do a takeoff.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if the first couple of times you do it that you sit on the seat. It's okay. You need to get used to it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to figure out, all right, what does this feel like? How does that work? So I don't expect perfection at all, but don't expect to get it right the first time. You're gonna have to adjust a little bit, but
Yeah.
try as much as you can
Okay.
to put very little weight from your butt on that seat, on the stop and on the takeoff.
Okay.
And what I was able to see was how well did she balance on the motorcycle all the way to a complete stop? Did she maintain the correct body position? And then on the takeoff, how was her clutch and throttle control? But more importantly, how much of a straight line did the bike go in when she rolled away? Fantastic. Yes.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. Woo! That was hilarious.
Yes. Nice job.
Oh, actually, adrenaline.
Why don't you take a break? Let's put your bike on the kickstand.
Okay, cool.
Lisa's riding from where she was a few hours ago to where she is now has vastly improved. And I can tell by the big smiles on her face that she knows that her riding has started to improve massively.
So now what I want you to do is use your right leg to initiate a right turn. Use your left leg to initiate a left turn. Pressure on the right, pressure on the left, and just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Lisa's always struggled with countersteering and understanding how to apply the principle of countersteering in her riding. But now with Dusty's instruction, you can see that she's getting it, her turns are tighter, and she's clearly becoming a better rider.
So after assessing Lisa's skills, what I found was she just wasn't comfortable putting the basic fundamentals in riding situations, specifically deep sand.
I didn't realise I had the skills, but wasn't really aware that I had the ability, as I wasn't really instilling good habits and I wasn't using those fundamentals.
So after all the assessments, Lisa and I found some deep sand. She felt so much more comfortable.
I'm so much happier now weight shifting. I'm so much happier learning how to stop in sand. You know, it was just a case of being in survival mode, winging it and panicking and letting all this immobilising fear. Dusty has taken care of all of that for me today.
Lisa's fear and discomfort with riding deep sand is not uncommon. Basic fundamental practice will make you a lot more comfortable riding deep sand. I get a lot of people asking me, Dusty, what should I practice after class? What should I do? I say, listen, one of the best things you can do after training is go out and ride. If you want to get better, you got to ride it.